It's that time of the year again when marketing people are knee-deep in planning the activities for next year. I remember the time I had to create my first marketing plan as the marketing professional. I don't recall having a marketing manager at that point, so I vaguely remember Googling and downloading a template, it might have been one of HubSpot's, and just trying to do my best. So if you're new to it, I don't want you to go through the same experience, feeling confused about and lost in this giant task. And if you're an experienced marketer, stick around to see how I approach marketing planning. It's a strategy refined through experience, through creating marketing plans in different roles for different companies over the span of a decade. So here's some advice that will hopefully set you on the right track if you haven't started planning yet, or will help you keep up the good work and inform your decisions if your plan is well underway. I believe these principles apply regardless of the industry and type of company you work for. So, first things first, you need to understand the business objectives for next year and get this information from your stakeholders. It could be your MD, director of sales, product manager, or head of marketing, etc. Planning next year's marketing activities shouldn't happen in isolation without input from other departments. The objectives need to be clear and measurable. That's very important. You need to know, the number of leads that need to be generated by marketing, how many new clients, the revenue and or profit growth. If marketing is involved in forging new partnerships, with whom and how many new partners does the company need next year? You get the gist. Now, an endless number of business objectives is bad news for both the business and the marketing department, as it leads to diluted efforts and scattered resources in way too many directions. So ask your business leaders to choose 2 or 3 objectives for the new year and stick with them. This exercise of choosing and prioritizing will be beneficial to them as well, as it'll help focus the energy of various teams on the same important goals. Everybody being united around a common purpose and understanding what needs to happen in the new year for the business to thrive is a good thing. Point number 2. Once you have your business objectives clearly articulated, think about the levers you can pull to move the needle in the right direction. Look at what worked last year. Pour over 2024's marketing reports, and yes, in other words, do study those Excel spreadsheets and see which activities have generated the highest return on investment. Was it face-to-face events? Was it webinars or sponsorships or social media advertising or PR? Then prioritize the areas that have already yielded good results. I know that sometimes this exercise can be imperfect because of the difficulty to allocate conversions precisely. A lead journey can be so convoluted and it can involve different touch points, especially in the B2B world. So attributing sales to a specific marketing channel or activity can be a big challenge. Other times, the disconnect between the various platforms you use can get in the way of measuring results. For example, your email marketing system and your CRM aren't integrated, and that can pose limitations in terms of customer attribution. But do the best you can with the data you have and ask for help. So you may need data from other sources and departments like sales or finance, so you can be more precise in measuring the effectiveness of your campaigns. Again, don't feel like you need to have all the answers. Involve other people in the process, but don't let them dictate the direction of the plan if they're not decision makers, but more on that later. So, besides prioritizing the channels and tactics with the best ROI, allocate a portion of the budget towards trying new things to discover untapped areas for growth. Give yourself permission to take calculated risks, so meaning don't overspend, but do experiment with new technology. So this could be a new AI tool that could save you time and deliver a good or even better result than before. Experiment with new social media channels for your company, a new type of advertising, etc. Don't just stick with the tried and tested. Dip your toes into new territories if you have the bandwidth. And I know we're all very busy and stretched thin, so you're probably thinking, what, another thing on my list, Anna? But if you can, do try to enlarge your horizons. Tip number 3 would be block time in your diary for marketing planning. Undistracted work will forever be our best work. And I think I'm quoting Mary Morantz here, and she's one of my favorite authors. In other words, planning is deep work. So block time in your calendar, mute notifications, and get to work. It's one of those things that we can easily push aside to answer one more email and schedule one more social media post or email campaign. And we put it off until we're running out of time and scramble to finish it without giving it the time and energy it deserves. The environment matters because it influences the amount of attention you can give to the task at hand and therefore the quality of the output. So remove distractions if need be, book a meeting room if you work in the office, or put your headphones on so you're not distracted by the constant noise and chatter going on around you. If you have hybrid work arrangements, or if you work entirely from home and have a favorite coffee shop or a co-working space, go there regularly, maybe even daily, to give yourself the best chances of success. Work at it, work on the marketing plan every day, maybe for an hour, 90 minutes, because it's such a mammoth task and consistency is key. So you don't want to rush it. You want to be able to collate all the information you need from various sources, and you want to give yourself the time and space to think strategically. And yes, there might be an idea to put your phone in a different room as well, so you don't hear that constant pinging or you don't see your screen lighting up. That could be another useful tip. Right, moving on to tip number 4. As part of the process, many people may offer unsolicited advice because, hello, we work in marketing, and they may recommend things that you know aren't suitable. Maybe another conference to run and organize when you already have a handful lined up for the new year, or an advertising platform that you know hasn't yielded results in the past. So you need to learn to say no and push back. Involve the relevant decision makers and information providers throughout the planning process to the extent that that is appropriate based on their roles, the purpose of their involvement, and your relationship with them. Ask them for input as you ponder the sponsorship of a new conference, for example. Ask them for information or for their opinion. Don't operate in isolation. Don't shoulder the burden of planning all on your own. But at the same time, don't allow uninformed advice to derail you. And don't allow people to push their agenda. The plan needs to serve not the interest of one person or department, but the company's interests and overall goals. So be prepared to say no when that is the right thing to do. You also don't want to overcommit to a plethora of activities and then underdeliver because you don't have the capacity to do it all. So avoid the temptation of biting more than you can chew, especially if you're the only marketer in the company and it's all on you. I speak from experience because I've been there, all full of good intentions during the planning stage and willing to say yes to everything. But gladly also having more experience, wiser people around saying, okay, now let's look at what we can realistically deliver with only one Anna in the picture.
Attention marketing trailblazers. Are your growth targets eluding you online? Frustrated by missed sales opportunities? Fear not. Introducing Growth Navigator. At SEO Business, our experts dive deep into your market, competitors, and positioning. The result, a tailored report revealing untapped growth opportunities. There are no fees and no obligations, just an hour of your time. Ready to transform your business? Visit us at seobusiness.co.uk and let's explore the possibilities together.
So to sum up my advice regarding the marketing planning stage, I'd say this: be strategic. Choose the activities that will really move the needle based on data. Be cooperative, involve other people in the process, Be firm. Don't let them dictate direction of the plan if that's not their job. Be a visionary. Grasp the business's aspirations and translate them into campaigns. And then present your plan with confidence, knowing that it's backed up by data and it's got input from the right people. Last but not least, be open to receive feedback and don't see criticism as an affront. If it's offered to you in a respectful manner by stakeholders who have a say in these things and it's based on facts and experience. Also, I need to add that the planning stage is just the beginning. There's going to be a lot of work to do in the new year. So you will need to enroll people's help to deliver the plan, be it your head of marketing or a product manager or even the MD. When you involve people in the planning stage, you are actually setting the scene for the future help and contribution you'll need for them in the new year, because none of us can do it alone. Right. Before I finish, I want to also talk about the platforms that can be used for marketing planning. So my first tools for the job back in 2011-12 were a PowerPoint presentation. Like I said, I think it was a deck I downloaded from HubSpot's website. Then a spreadsheet where we'd plug in the numbers plus a PowerPoint presentation that would use to present the big picture. And more recently, in my last role, I've used Monday.com and loved it. Now, this is not a sponsored podcast or advert for them. I've just used that platform and really liked it. And I think you still need to do the math using a different platform, but you can easily map out the campaigns and then the corresponding tasks in Monday.com. You can add people to the relevant campaigns, people from within the marketing team or other departments. These people can then comment, provide updates, all within the platform. It's a really centralized way of planning and then keeping track of the work done within the department or keeping track of the specific tasks assigned to you. You can also create different boards for any major projects that you'd like to separate from the rest and give extra attention to, for example, a website relaunch. They even have a completely free plan that you can use and then upgrade if needed. The pricing is really reasonable. Your Monday.com account will come with templates that you can choose from. You can also assign a status to various tasks such as pending or complete. And I think the status options are customizable. It's a really powerful tool and so easy to use. I don't think it's a suitable platform for presenting the actual plan to your stakeholders. I think you may still need to use something like Canva or PowerPoint, but it's great for mapping out the campaigns, the activities, and then managing them throughout the year. I've also used Asana, but not as much as Monday.com, so my knowledge of that platform is more limited. Okay, so I really hope this is very helpful. If you'd like to learn more about marketing planning, I know the Marketing Meetup have done a really good webinar on it maybe a month or so ago. I'll include a link to the recording in the show notes, so then you can expand your knowledge on the topic. I think my episode and that webinar sort of complement each other quite well. I really hope the new year will bring many opportunities your way, that you will flourish in your job, that your marketing plan will yield the results expected, and that you as a person will receive the support you need to complete and deliver the marketing plan. Onwards and upwards!